Welcome back to AI Theology Debates. In the first segment, we explored the biological and health benefits of fasting during Ramadan. Now, let's shift our focus to the psychological and behavioral effects of fasting. Does it improve self-control? Does it reduce stress? And what role does it play in emotional and cognitive well-being? To answer these questions, we have our host interviewing Dr. Abubakar Sani, a Nigerian expert in cognitive psychology.
Dr. Sani, let's start with the basics. How does fasting affect the brain?
Fasting initiates several neurological changes that impact cognition and behavior. One of the most notable effects is an increase in brain-derived neurotrophic factor, BDNF, a protein that supports learning, memory, and overall brain plasticity. Higher BDNF levels are associated with improved focus and mental clarity, which is why many people report feeling more in the zone after the first few days of fasting.
That's interesting, but what about the common complaint that fasting makes people sluggish or unfocused?
That sluggishness is usually temporary and occurs during the transition phase when the body shifts from burning glucose to burning fat. However, once adapted, most people experience enhanced cognitive function, partly due to the stabilization of blood sugar levels and the reduction of inflammation in the brain.
So, after the adaptation phase, fasting could actually enhance cognitive performance?
Exactly. Some studies suggest that fasting may even have protective effects against neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. The brain enters a state of heightened resilience, and many people report improved problem-solving skills and creativity.
Let's talk about emotional regulation. Some people claim fasting helps them become more patient and self-controlled. Is there any scientific basis for this?
Yes, and it's actually quite fascinating. Fasting strengthens the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for impulse control and decision-making. By voluntarily abstaining from food and drink, individuals exercise self-discipline, which can extend to other areas of life, like controlling anger, resisting temptations, and making more rational decisions.
So you're saying that fasting is like mental training?
Precisely. There's a psychological concept called ego depletion, which suggests that self-control is like a muscle, it gets stronger the more you use it. Fasting serves as a repeated exercise in self-restraint, strengthening willpower over time.
That's a strong argument for fasting's role in character development, but let's address the counter-argument. Doesn't fasting make some people more irritable?
That can happen, especially in the early days when blood sugar drops and the body is still adjusting. This is known as hunger, a mix of hunger and anger. However, as fasting progresses, serotonin and dopamine levels stabilize, and many people experience improved mood and reduced anxiety.
Speaking of anxiety, how does fasting impact stress levels? Some people claim it makes them more relaxed, while others say it increases stress, which is true.
It depends on the individual and how they approach fasting. Short-term fasting lowers cortisol, the stress hormone, leading to a sense of calm. However, if someone is sleep-deprived or dehydrated, their cortisol levels may rise, increasing stress. This is why proper hydration and rest are essential.
So fasting can be a double-edged sword when it comes to stress.
Exactly. But overall, when done properly, fasting tends to reduce stress and enhance emotional stability. Many people also find that the spiritual aspect of Ramadan, prayer, mindfulness, and community connection act as natural stress relievers.
You touched on mindfulness. Can we say that fasting acts as a psychological reset?
Yes, fasting encourages mindfulness because it forces people to slow down and be more aware of their thoughts, actions, and emotions. Eating is an automatic behavior for most people, and by removing it temporarily, individuals become more conscious of their habits. This heightened awareness extends beyond food. Many report becoming more aware of their speech, emotions, and even their purpose.
That aligns with the Islamic principle of fasting as a form of self-purification. Would you say that fasting can help break bad habits?
Absolutely. Studies show that fasting can rewire reward pathways in the brain. People who fast often find it easier to quit smoking, reduce caffeine intake, or break other addictive behaviors. It disrupts automatic routines and forces individuals to make more conscious choices.
One concern some people have is that fasting affects sleep. What's your take on this?
That's a valid concern. Changes in meal timing, along with late-night prayers, can disrupt sleep patterns. However, fasting itself promotes deeper sleep because it regulates circadian rhythms and reduces late-night snacking, which can interfere with melatonin production.
So the key is to adjust one's schedule to maximize sleep quality.
Exactly. Avoiding caffeine before suhoor, staying hydrated, and maintaining a consistent sleep schedule can prevent fatigue.
Dr. Sani, let's summarize what we've covered. What are the key psychological benefits of fasting?
Fasting improves cognitive function, enhances self-control, reduces stress, and promotes mindfulness. While there are temporary challenges, such as initial irritability and sleep disruptions, these can be managed with proper hydration and nutrition. Overall, fasting serves as a mental and emotional reset, helping individuals become more patient, focused, and self-disciplined.
That was an incredibly insightful discussion. In the next segment, we'll explore how fasting impacts communities and economies. Stay with us.